segment number 57, in which we are now going to play Jeopardy for the Nintendo Wii. See if we want to bundle this game. Hey, Tiger. Here, move me closer. There you go, so you can see.
Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone.
Easy difficulty.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, and now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to work in the Jeopardy round. And we have one daily double awaiting you in these categories. Playwrights. It's all good. Pets. Star Trek jargon. Name that planet. And Washington, Lincoln, or Obama. Player 1, you're in command of the... Marvin Hagler was Marvelous Marvin. Tom Seaver was nicknamed Tom This. Player 1, use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direction on the plus control. Right. You get to pick again, Player 1.
I'll go with name that planet for 1,000.
In the wake of a recent demotion, this is now the outermost planet.
What is Neptune?
Let's hear it, Player 1. Good for you. Player 1, back to you.
1,000.
One of the oldest domesticated dog breeds is the Saluki, the royal dog of this ancient people. Yes, Player 1.
Who are the Greeks?
Nope. Anyone else? Here's the response we were looking for. The Egyptians.
Oh, okay, the Egyptians.
You again, Player 1.
1,000.
It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. How much are you going to... And the Daily Double clue. A 1934 New York City taxi driver's strike led him to write Waiting for Lefty, the first of his plays to be produced.
Who is Clifford Odets?
That puts you even further ahead. Select again.
Let's have Star Trek jargon 1,000.
This crystal regulates matter-antimatter reactions that provide energy for travel faster than light. Okay, Player 1.
What is tritium?
Nope. Sorry. Any other takers? Let's hear it, Player 3. Correct. Player 3, back to you for our next selection. The Type 2 of this weapon had a max power setting of 16 and could be set to heat, disrupt, or stun.
What's a phaser?
Okay, Player 1. Yeah! Correct.
What's the Obama 1,000?
Player 1, you pick received a patent. Player 1,
Who's Lincoln?
that is correct.
It's all good, 8.
Please pick again, Player 1. As an adjective, it means very impressive. As a noun, it's a lavish production. It's Player 1.
What is spectacular?
Good. Player 1, pick again. A year on this planet is 88 days long.
What is Mercury?
Yes, Player 1. Right. We return to you, player one. William Howard Taft was the last pres to have one of these grazing at the White House. Her name was Pauline Wayne. Let's hear it, player one.
What is a cow?
You are correct.
Player 8.
Please pick again. This Shakespeare contemporary is remembered for Dr. Faustus and for getting stabbed to death. Okay, player one.
Who is Christopher Marlowe?
Hey, you're right. Player one, you pick again. Created by Starfleet, it prohibits interference with other civilizations. It's player one.
What is a neutral zone?
Sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's what we were looking for. The Prime Directive.
Washington, Lincoln, or Obama?
Select again. Went to Occidental College and Columbia University.
Who's Barack Obama?
Player one? That is correct. We return to you, player one.
It's all good, 6.
The bird Ardea herodias isn't just any blue heron, it's this blue heron. Yes, player one.
What is super?
No. Any other takers? It's player three. Yes. You again, player three. Also known as a cathode, it's the car battery terminal with a plus sign.
What is positive?
Okay, player one. Right you are. Player one, back to you. The great red spot on this planet is actually a giant storm.
What's Jupiter?
Yes, player one. Right. Choose again, player one. Often advertised in comic books, see these are actually brine shrimp in suspended animation.
What are monkeys?
Let's hear it, player one.
Sea monkeys?
Yeah, that's right. Way to go. You get to pick again, player one. This Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright was related to John Sevier, the first governor of the volunteer state. Player one.
Who is Tennessee Williams?
You got it. Player one, pick again. When Spock checks chronometric data, he's looking at measurements of the space-this continuum.
What is time?
It's player one. That's correct. Player one, back to you for never lived in Illinois.
Who's Washington?
Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Player one, back to you. It can mean far better than average or not yet settled like an unpaid debt. Okay, player one.
What is outstanding?
Yes. You again, player one. Instrument-laden rovers landed on this planet in 2004.
What's Mars?
Yes, player one. Yep. Player one, you pick a... This type of parrot that bears the name of a South American river can get used to cooler temperatures.
What's an Amazon parrot?
Player one. Good. Choose again, player one. Public disgust over his play Ghosts caused this Norwegian to retaliate in his An Enemy of the People.
Who's Henry Gibson?
It's player one. Yeah, good. Select again. This device briefly converts a person to energy, beams the energy, then reassembles the person. Okay, player one.
What is a tribble? Or tricorder?
That's not right. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player three? Yes! You get to pick again, player three. Christian Huygens wrote about this planet's rings back in 1659.
What's Saturn?
Let's hear it, player one. Yeah! Right. Player one, the tallest.
Who is Abe Lincoln?
Yes, player one. That is correct. We return to you, player one. With more than 70 million living with American households, this is the most common house pet in the United States.
What's a cat?
Player one? Yes. Please pick again. His father, James O'Neill, was a 19th century actor whose most famous role was the Count of Monte Cristo.
Who is Eugene O'Neill?
It's player one. Yeah, good. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. Was born a British subject.
Who is Washington?
Let's hear it, player one. Good. Okay, we have player two in third place, which means that player two will go first in the Double Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Football. You're so subtractive. This is your life, Abe Lincoln. Let's visit India. Debriefing. And title ballet women. Player two, you go first in this Double Jeopardy round. 1949 saw the first ballet version of this operatic Bizet work that features Don Jose and a toreador.
What's Carmen?
Yes, player one. Correct.
Let's have
Player one, pick again. An alcoholic may suffer from this, from the Greek for mad thirst. Okay, player one.
What is dromomania?
That's not it. Anyone else? Yes, player three.
Dipsomania.
You are correct. Please pick again, player three. It's the alliterative salutation that traditionally begins each entry of a girl's daily journal.
What is Dear Diary?
It's player one. That's it. Player one, you pick again, please. To see this NFL team's home games at FedEx Field, take a shuttle bus from the Landover Metro stop. Let's hear it, player one.
I'm going to say, who are the Washington Redskins?
Yes. Player one, back to you.
Let's visit India 2000.
He was India's first prime minister. Okay, player one.
Who is Jawaharlal Nehru?
Correct. Player one, pick
This
again.
is your life, Abe Lincoln 2000.
Secretary of War for Franklin Pierce, some called him Mr. President, though certainly not you. Say hello to player one.
Who is Jefferson Davis?
That's correct.
How about I women 2000?
You again, player one. Answer, the first of the daily doubles. And you have the lead. You need to select your wager.
6601.
Answer, this Greek gal falls for her stepson Hippolytus in a ballet based on Racine's tragedy.
Who is Phaedra?
Congratulations, you're still in first, player one.
How about
We return to you, player one. This Kenneth Macmillan ballet intrigues with the curious story of the last of the four daughters of Tsar Nicholas II. Let's hear it, player one.
Who is Anastasia?
That's right. Way to go.
How about Island 12?
Player one, back to you. Margot Fontaine dazzled audiences as Princess Aurora in this ballet.
What is Sleeping Beauty?
Yes, player one. That's correct.
How about Island 8?
Select again. The evil priest Frollo wants Esmeralda, but she's saved by a man named this.
What is Quasimodo?
Okay, player one. Right.
Did you like that or no?
You get to pick again, player one. From the Latin for diminish, it's the term for a number from which another number is subtracted. It's player one.
What is Minuet?
Good for you.
Debriefing 16.
Choose again, player one. To a Londoner, it's a trash can. Player one.
What is what's a dustbin?
Yes.
Football 16.
You again, player one. And I'll hand it off to Kelly.
In this type of trick play, the quarterback hands off to a running back, who hands off to a tight end going in the opposite direction.
It's player one.
What is option?
Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? We're talking about a reverse.
Oh, reverse. Okay.
Select again.
Let's visit India 16.
Answer. The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. Decide on your wager, player one.
Let's go with what the hell? Let's do it again. 6601.
The clue. Eden Gardens in Calcutta is the world's largest stadium for this sport, popular in India.
What is cricket?
That puts you even further ahead. Please pick again, player one.
Abe Lincoln.
You said if this general is not using the army, I should like to borrow it for a while. Say hello to... Okay, player one.
Who is William Sherman?
No, sorry. Any other takers? The correct response is George McClellan.
Oh, George McClellan. Okay. Subtractive 16.
You get to pick again, player one. 1127 minus 121 minus 116 equals this. Yes, player one.
What is 890?
Good.
Debriefing 12.
Player one. Humorous poetry with irregular rhythm is known by this canine name. Let's hear it, player one.
What is doggerel?
Right. Choose again, player one. This Cowboys wide receiver of the 1990s entered the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2007. Player one.
Who is Michael Irvin?
You got it.
Let's visit India 12.
Player one. In India, a mahout is a keeper of these animals. It's player one.
What are elephants?
Yep.
Abe Lincoln 12.
Player one. In 1860, he got 12 electoral votes, but you got the job. Feel free to debate.
Who is Stephen Douglas?
Okay, player one. Hey, you're right.
Subtractive 12.
We return to you. 99 minus 55 minus 33 minus 11 equals this.
What is 0?
Let's hear it, player one. Right you are. Player one. To slobber or to bounce a basketball.
What's dribble?
Player one. That is correct.
Football polite.
Choose again, player 1. He caught the catch on January 10th, 1982. Yes, player 1.
Who is John Montana?
Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Dwight Clark.
Oh, Dwight Clark. All right.
We return to you, player 1. Under the East India Company and then the government, this country ruled most of India until 1947.
What is Great Britain?
Player 1?
England?
Good for you. Player 1, pick again.
808?
You said of this general, I can't spare this man, he fights. He sure seems to be enjoying the green room. It's... Okay, player 1.
Who is Ulysses S. Grant?
That's right, way to go.
116 or 8?
You again, player 1. 117 minus 47 minus 10 equals this.
What is 60?
It's player 1. You got it. Player 1, back to you for our... This cup representing Canadian football supremacy was donated by the descendant of a tea namesake.
What is a Lipton cup?
Let's hear it, player 1. Nope. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 3. No. Anyone else? It's player 2. That is correct. Select again. It's 237 minus 113.
What's 224?
Okay, player 1.
Or no, 124, I should say. Sorry.
Yes. You get to pick again, player 1. Northern India is the birthplace of this religion started by Siddhartha.
What is Buddhism?
Let's hear it, player 1. Good. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. In 1870, Congress granted her an annual pension of $3,000. Call her Sugar Mama or simply your wife. Here's...
Who's Mary Todd Lincoln?
Yes, player 1. Good. I'll see you all for Final Jeopardy in just a moment. Here comes the Final Jeopardy, players. The category is this: historic purchases. So, what's your wager? Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. The Final Jeopardy clue is: the English received this person from the Burgundians in 1431 for the sum of 10,000 francs. What did you say?
Joan of Arc.
And that correct response will add...
$400. Double your money to $800. Good for you.
What did you put as your response?
You picked Joan of Arc as well.
With that correct response, you will gain...
$1,200, so you're at $4,800.
Let's see your response.
Joan of Arc.
How much do you add to your total with that correct response?
$12,802. So that's $56,004 I won.
Congratulations, player 1. You're the winner.
Yay! I'm going to see you all for that next Christmas.
So long.